Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all safe and healthy. So today I'm here at the Mohammed Yusuf Nagi dealership for BMW here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to take a look at the 2023 model of the BMW M8 competition. It is the Gran Coupe and not the standard Coupe variant, and in this video I'll let you know everything about the new changes that BMW have done for the 23 model year, so do stick till the end. And before I go ahead and talk about the car, I just wanted to give a big thanks to Mr. Faisal for helping me get access to the BMW M8 competition. So if any of you guys are watching this video from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia and you're looking to buy a new BMW, you can contact him. His contact details will be in the description below and you'll see it on the video right now as well. So you can go ahead and contact him for any of your BMW inquiries. And if you're new to the channel, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your bell notification so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload new videos. And now let's take a look at the car. Alright guys, so here it is, the 2023 model of the BMW M8 competition Gran Coupe. So as you can see, the car in front of us is in the M Isle of Man green metallic, which right now I think is one of my most favorite colors on a BMW M car. So I really like the color and I hope I can just show it to you nicely under these lights. You can just take a look at how shiny and how good this thing looks. And I just love the metallic flakes in this color. This color is a part of the change that BMW have done for the 23 model year. Apart from this Isle of Man green, you do have some other colors like the skyscraper gray and all. So those are some new paint options that are introduced. Then other than that, you have a darker light cluster in the front. And the next option is that you can get, like right now this particular one has the standard M Sport seats. But if you want, you can get the M Carbon competition seats that BMW introduced in the new M3 and M4. So if you want that, you can get it on this new 23 model year of the M8. The other change is that they added a new color for the interior, and they have increased the iDrive screen size from 10.3 inch to 12.3 inch. So those are all the changes for the 23 model year, and other than that everything else is the same. So before we go ahead and talk about anything else, let's start with the engine bay. So I have already opened it up for you guys, and you can see the other new change for the 23 model year, the 50th anniversary M badge that you can get as an optional extra. So let's lift this hood, and there it is, the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. So it is the same, there are no changes for the engine. You have 625 horsepower because this is the competition trim, and you have 750 newton meters of torque, which is 553 pound-feet, and it is attached to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And I think everyone knows nowadays all the M cars have the M xDrive all-wheel drive system, which is switchable, by the way. You can make it rear-wheel drive. So altogether this package weighs around 2.1 tons, which is like 4,600 pounds. That's to be expected. You have a lot of leather and stuff, but it's still relatively lightweight when compared to something like the Mercedes AMG GT, which is a direct rival to the M8 Gran Coupe. And let's talk about performance. So BMW quotes that the M8 Gran Coupe has 0 to 100 time of 3.3 seconds without the M drivers package, but if you get the M drivers package, you have a time of 3.2 seconds for 0 to 100. And I think everyone knows that BMW like to understate their times, so it is definitely faster than 3.2 seconds. Many people have timed the M8 going from 0 to 100 under 3 seconds, so that's to be expected from a BMW. It is quite quick. And you have top speed limited to 250 kilometers per hour or 155 miles per hour if you don't get the M drivers package. But if you go for the M drivers package, then the top speed is increased. But if you option the M drivers package, then the top speed is increased from 250 to 305 kilometers per hour or 190 miles per hour. And being an M car, you obviously have to get the M drivers package because it does not make sense of being limited to 250 kilometers per hour. So that's all about the engine bay. Now let's talk about the design. So now let's talk about the design of the BMW M8 competition Gran Coupe. And first things first, I just wanted to show you the key. So it is the standard BMW key with your M colors. You have your lock, unlock, trunk opener and a favorite button. So if I unlock the car, you can see the LED DRLs turn on. There we go. And as you can see, the LED DRLs turned on. So these are how the headlights look when they're turned on. And one small trick, if you don't know, like currently as you can see, only the LED DRLs are turned on. If you just hold the panic button over here for a few seconds, you can see the headlights turn on again. So these are full LED headlights, and these are the BMW laser lights. As you can see over here, it is written BMW laser. And if you want to take a look at the indicator, this is how it looks. There we go. so that's your indicator. Then like I showed you, these are the 50th anniversary M badges. So the BMW M division is celebrating their 50 years, so that's why they have introduced these new heritage badges. You can get it as an optional extra, but if you don't want them, you can get the standard BMW roundel as well. But I think this does look quite good, and it also makes the car a bit exclusive as well, because not all of the BMW M8s will be having the 50th anniversary emblem, so that's quite nice. Then we come to the grille. So this grille is obviously one of my favorites, the nice slim BMW grille. In the middle you can see we have the camera for a 360-degree system. You have the double slats in the kidney grille, and you can see how open it is to allow airflow to the radiators. And you can also see these strut braces which help to stiffen the engine bay. Then down below you have more openings along with your radar sensor for your safety systems, and we have more openings on the side as well. Here you can see we have the blacked out M8 badge. Since this is the competition variant, it comes as standard with the Shadowline exterior package, so that means all this grille surrounds that you see are blacked out. Even the badging is blacked out on the competition. Then we come over here, you can see the intake surrounds are in gloss black, but if you want you can get the exterior carbon fiber package, and they will make this out of carbon fiber. Same goes for the splitter down over here, so it is in gloss black, but if you want it in carbon fiber you can get it. Now as we move along to the side, I wanted to talk about the price of this car, but at the time of filming I don't have the price with me because this car is already sold out. But I'll get an estimate and just post it down here for you guys, and I'll convert it into US dollars as well. So since this is a highly spec'd out car, it will definitely be expensive. And also just keep one thing in mind, cars in Saudi Arabia generally are more expensive than their US and European counterparts, because we have VAT and import taxes. And let's take a look at the side. So I don't have a lot of space here, but I'll try to show you the full side profile of the Gran Coupe. It just looks quite good, and this is one of the main reasons why many people go for the Gran Coupe instead of the standard coupe variant of the 8 series, because you just get that really nice and elegant shape. I personally like the 8 series coupe a lot more than the Gran Coupe, because I know the Gran Coupe is not that practical in the back seats because of that sloping roofline. I'd prefer a 4-door M5 and a coupe 8 series, so you know, that's my preference. You might have a different preference. Then let's take a look at the rims. So this particular rim is covered in the Pirelli P0 tires. In some markets you get them with the Michelins, but here we have the Pirelli P0s. You can just take a look at this rim. It looks quite good. So in terms of size, the tire has a width of 275 millimeters. You have a 35 series sidewall, and the rim is 20 inches in size. I do like the design of this rims. It looks quite good, and you can see the center hubcaps have the 50th anniversary logo as well. Then behind you can just take a look at the nice big M brakes. You can get a carbon ceramics as an option. You do get a 6-piston brake caliper though, and this particular brake caliper is in black, but you can get it in red and blue as well. And then moving along, you can see we have the air extractor. This is a functional air extractor, by the way. You have the M8 logo, and it is covered in gloss black, but if you want you can get it in carbon fiber as well. Then here we have the classic M mirrors with the fin design up top. It is covered in gloss black. Again, if you want you can get it with carbon fiber. And you can see here we have the camera for a 360-degree camera view. Then with the Shadowline exterior package, you can see the window surrounds are covered in black. Up top on the roof, since this is the competition model, you get it as standard with carbon fiber. Then let's take a look at the rear wheel. So the rear rim is same design, same diameter as well, 20 inch, but the width of the tire is different. It has a 285 millimeter width. You have a 35 series sidewall again, and like I told you, the 20-inch rim. You have the 50th anniversary logo in the middle, and you can see the brakes at the back as well. At the back you have a single piston caliper, and it is painted black. Then moving along the back, you can see how the sloping roofline meets into the trunk space. It does look quite good. It's just that the sloping roofline does make it a bit impractical at the back, but we'll see how impractical it is later on. So as we move towards the back, you can see we have a nice decollete spoiler. It is in gloss black. If you want, you can get it in carbon fiber. And let me turn on the tail lights of the BMW M8. So all I have to do is hit the panic button again. Just hold it for a second, and you can see the tail lights turn on. They look really nice, and they look pretty aggressive as well. And if you want to take a look at the indicator, here it is. There we go. So that's your indicator. Then here you can see again we have the BMW roundel with the 50th anniversary badge, and you have M8 competition written right over here. Then as we moved on, you can see we have the standard diffuser, but if you go for the carbon fiber option, it gets a bit more aggressive as well. This one is in gloss black, and you can see we have huge exhaust strips. I recently reviewed an M5 competition, but the M5 competition had really small tailpipes, but this thing is almost as huge as my whole fist. So that is quite nice. And since we are already at the exhaust pipes, let's take a listen to how it sounds. So as you heard, the M8 competition sounds really good, and it has a really nice exhaust sound because of those huge pipes. But now that we're done with the exterior walk around, let's take a look at the boot space. So to open the boot, you can either use a button right beside the rear camera, or you can use a button in the interior, or you can just use your key fob, which I have right over here. You can just hold this button and the boot electronically opens up for you. So right now over here we can see we have the spare wheel kept inside, but it is a nice large shape. The Gran Coupe has a total of 440 liters of space, that is 15.5 cubic feet. The M5 does have a lot more space because of its shape, and this is where actually the Mercedes AMG GT gets a big advantage, because it has a hatchback style tailgate that creates a lot more room and it gives it more practicality. Because of the shape of the 8 series boot, you don't have a lot of space. Most of the people that buy the 8 series, by the way, do it because it looks good. They don't want a lot of practicality, they just want to look good. So that's the main thing. This is a purchase made by the heart, not by the mind. So let's close up the boot now, and now let's move on towards the interior and we'll take a look at everything over there. So as you move towards the interior, we have the fuel economy as well. So you can take a look. You have 10.6 kilometer per liter. That's to be expected. It is a performance car, so it will have poor fuel economy. I'll just convert it into MPG for you guys as well, so you have an idea for comparison. But 10.6, it is very poor. Now let's unlock the car. You do have keyless entry and go. That's how you can get inside. And the first thing that I immediately like is the frameless windows. That is one of my favorite features on most of the Gran Coupes and Coupes. So in general, I do like frameless windows a lot. Then as you can see, we have a nice two-tone finish for the interior. We have black and we have a nice light tan leather interior. So the leather, as expected from BMW, is nice and soft. You have soft leather over here as well on the door trim on the side. Then you can see we have your speaker grills here and up top as well. It's a Harman Kardon speaker system. Then we have this nice silver metallic trim along with your memory seating, central locking and your door handle. You can also see the ambient lighting just right over there. So it is in a nice purple color and it looks quite good. Then we have more leather covering the armrest along with your window switches and side mirror controls. Then we have more leather on this side, and down below this is also covered in leather. You have a decent amount of door storage along with your button to open the tailgate, and you can see we have some more ambient lighting inside, because as you can see the purple lighting just a little bit over there. Then on the sills we have the illuminated M8 competition badge, and these are how the seats look. So these are the standard M Sport seats. You have an illuminated M8 logo in the middle, which looks quite good, and the leather is nice and soft. Like I told you, if you want, you can get the M carbon competition seats as well, and they look like this. So if you do want those hardcore racing bucket seats, it's your choice, you can go for it, but I would prefer these seats over those carbon bucket seats because these are definitely more comfortable and they are more in line with the word Gran Coupe. Down below you can see we have a lot of adjustability for your seats, and you have the famous BMW thigh rest, and those are your pedals along with your latch to open the hood, and you have some light controls here. So that's all from the outside. Let's take a seat inside and I'll show you around the interior. So I'm in the interior of the BMW M8, and the first thing that I have to say is that this feels a bit cramped when compared to the BMW M5. It's to be expected. The BMW M5 has a higher roof, and this thing is overall lower in height, and it has a lower roof as well. So that does create a bit of a problem for someone as tall as me. I am 6'4" or 195 centimeters, and you can see I don't have a lot of headroom. The cap is definitely touching the roofline, but without the cap, I did check, I do have only this much amount of headroom, so that is not very comfortable for someone of my height. But if anybody who's like average height of 6 feet and below, I think they'll be fine in this car. But for someone who's on the taller side, I think you should take a look at the M5 competition, because underneath they are the same car. You have the same engine, the same performance, and everything else is the same. Only thing is that the 8 series does provide you with a better interior quality. You have a much higher quality materials inside the cabin, and it definitely looks a lot better than the M5. But the only problem is that since the roof is low, you will have a problem with your headroom. I have the seat, by the way, set to its lowest position, but despite that I do have an issue with the headroom, so that is something you should consider. But other than that, these sport seats are quite comfortable, and I have a larger body size, but despite that these seats don't feel very constricting, so that's quite nice. The competition bucket seats, by the way, will definitely feel cramped for someone of my size. Like if you're skinny, you will be fine in those seats, but for someone with a larger body size, I think these sport seats are a better choice. So now let's take a look around the cabin. So as everyone knows, like the BMW systems are pretty similar. You have the driver's display with your speedometer, tachometer, and you have different functions over here. So if I hit this BC button right over here, you can change the information over there. So from G meter you can go to your radio, you can go to your the drive modes what you're in. Then this is your fuel efficiency, then that's your trip computer, and that's your tire pressure, your coolant temperature, and your boost pressure. Then this is your torque and horsepower, and back to your G meter. If you want, you can get some more information on this side. If you want, you can configure that from the main infotainment display. But on the side of that you have your fuel meter. Here's your coolant temperature again. You have your outside air temperature, which four-wheel drive mode you are in, odometer, and your time. Then we take a look at the steering wheel. So behind the steering wheel you have some indicator controls, and on this side you have your wiper controls. Then you have some standard paddle shifters. Then you have the M1 and M2 buttons, and everyone knows that what the M1 and M2 buttons do. You can configure the M1 and M2 buttons separately, and in that configuration you can customize every single bit of the car. So from its suspension setting, engine setting, transmission setting, four-wheel drive setting, you can adjust anything according to your preference. You can choose the M1 button to be like the car's most comfortable setting, and then you can choose the M2 to be the car's most aggressive setting. So when you feel like driving comfortably, you just hit the M1 button, you are in the most relaxed mode. And then as soon as you encounter some nice curvy roads, and you want to drive sportingly, you can just press the M2 button and go on your way. You don't need to faff around with the infotainment system. Then on the steering wheel you have your cruise control settings, you have your media controls, voice assistant, and all the other controls. You have a heated steering wheel, by the way, which I don't think we need in Saudi Arabia because it is pretty hot. Then we have your M logo, and you can also see the M stitching, which looks quite nice. And the steering wheel, by the way, in typical M fashion, is a nice thick steering wheel, and it feels nice to hold. But that's all about the steering wheel. Then we come to the center console, and like I told you, for the 23 model year, the screen is updated. You get a larger 12.3-inch screen, and it is the same iDrive 7 system that we have been seeing from quite a long time. And now BMW have introduced the iDrive 8. So most probably when the 8 series gets updated, you will get the full iDrive 8 system. But for now you have the iDrive 7, and it is pretty easy to use. You have your media controls, you have your navigation, then you have some car settings. You can also see the car that is shown in the screen. It is matched to the color that you have in reality, and it looks quite good. And that is a nice attention to detail. And only for the M cars you get this M menu over here, so you can configure your M1. So like I told you, you can change a lot of the settings of the car from here. And then you can change the M2 button, you can change the heads up display, you can also configure the instrument cluster right over here. Then you have your vehicle status to check your tire pressure, engine oil, and all that stuff. So it's basically the same thing. And you also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can use that for your navigation as well. Then moving down, you can see we have the air vents, which are pretty nice and high quality. You can also see the ambient lighting down this side right over here, which looks quite nice. Then here you have a hazard button, your active safety systems. Then you have your ventilated seats, so you can control that through the infotainment display. Then you have some AC controls for your temperature, fan speed, and all that stuff. Down below you have your touch sensitive media controls, and you have a physical volume knob as well. Then moving down, you can see we have the M8 competition badge, and you have carbon fiber trim over here, and it is a storage space, by the way. You have two cup holders, a 12-volt socket. You also have a USB-A port, and you also have a wireless charging pad right over there. Then we come to the center console. So this is your gear selector for your 8-speed automatic. You have your M logo embossed along with your M stitching, and it feels nice to hold, by the way. You have your red start stop button, you have your traction control off button, then you have your camera button and your parking sensor as well. And as I press that, you can see currently we have the view for your camera settings. So that's your rear camera view, but if you do want some extra features, you can just go to your 3D view, and you can see since I have the front driver's side door open, it shows that as well. But let's take a look around the car, and you can see it is in the same paint as the car in reality, and it looks quite nice. So I do like the quality that BMW gives you in your parking sensor for your 3D view. I quite like that. Then here you have your auto start stop, your engine start button, your M mode buttons. So you have road, sport and track, and as you can see, when I change to sport mode, the driver's display also changes, so that is another thing. Then you also have a setup button, so with that you can set up the car according to how you like it. So you have auto hold, electronic parking brake, your iDrive controller, along with shortcut buttons and back button and all that stuff. Then we take a look at the armrest, which is nice and soft. You can see we have plenty of space along with the USB-C port and a 12-volt socket. You have a good amount of glove box storage, and up here you can see the frameless rear view mirror, which I quite like. These are your central lighting system, and by the way, you don't have any controls for your sunroof because it does not have a sunroof. It has a carbon fiber roof. Then here are your sun visors with one of the smallest mirrors I have ever seen, and you have a light up top, and that's all there is to show in the front of the M8 competition. Now let's jump in the back seat and see if we have space to sit there or not. Let's take a look at the rear door now, and let's open it up, and you can see we have the same frameless windows at the back as well, which looks quite nice. Then let's take a look at the door trim. So the door trim is quite nice as well. It has the same high quality materials as in the front. You can take a look at the leather, which looks quite nice and soft. You have some ambient lighting here. I hope you can just see that a little bit. Then you have your Harman Kardon speakers along with your door handle, and you can see we have the controls for your window as well as your blinds. Then we have some decent amount of door storage, your illuminated M sill plates, and these are how the rear seats look, and they look quite good, by the way. And then you have the M stitching on your seat belts at both the front and at the back as well. But now let's take a seat in the back, and let's see if we have enough space or not. So guys, I'm in the back seat of the M8 Gran Coupe, and I have to say I don't have a lot of space. I have the front passenger seat set according to someone of average height, that is like 6 feet and below, but I don't have a lot of space. You can see my knees are practically touching, and it is pretty uncomfortable. I could have managed like this if I did have a good amount of headroom, but as you can see, I don't have a lot of headroom. I have to sit crouched like this, otherwise my head keeps touching the roof. So this is not a comfortable way to sit. As you can see, it will definitely cramp your neck up. So taller passengers, I'll just advise you, sit in the front seat, don't sit in the back seat. You'll definitely not have a lot of room, but other than that, these seats are quite nice and comfortable, and I'll show you some of the features around the cabin. So as you can see, it is a strict 4-seater because you have the center console coming all the way over here. You can also see the ambient lighting along the side. You have carbon fiber up top, your AC vents, you have 2 USB-C ports and some storage space, and you have your climate control for the back, and you also have an armrest. So let me just pull that down. So you can see we have a armrest, which is nice and soft, by the way. You do have some storage under here, but you do have some cup holders as well. So you can see, I love the way BMW hides their cup holders. It just looks really classy. And one more thing that I quite like over here is the attention to detail on the armrest itself. And this is actual metal, by the way. It's because it is cold to the touch. It does not feel plasticky, but around the cup holder it feels really nice and high quality, and it justifies the extra price that you pay over the M5 for the M8 competition. So that's all there is to show over here. So guys, that was the video on the BMW M8 competition. Hope you enjoyed it a lot. And what do I personally think about it? I'm not sure if you have watched my M5 video, but in that I have said that the M5 competition is one of my favorite sports sedans of all time. The new one especially has been my favorite since it has been released. And the M8 competition is basically the same car underneath because it has the same kind of performance, but it has a higher price because of the way it looks, and the material quality that you get is insane. It's way better than the M5, so that is why it has a higher price. From a performance standpoint, it is similar to the M5, so I like it that way. But if it were me, I would go for the Coupe variant instead of the Gran Coupe, because the rear seats for someone as tall as me are not that comfortable. I would go for the Coupe variant because the front two seats are really comfortable and are enough for someone of my height. If I wanted a practical M car, then you definitely have the X5M and the X6M or the M5. That is definitely a lot more practical than the M8 Coupe, but the M8 Coupe is something you buy from the heart and not from the head. So all I'll say that if you're looking for a practical M family sedan, then the M5 is the way to go. But if you want a lot of style and you don't mind the small boot capacity or the limited headroom in the back seats, then I suggest you go ahead and buy the M8 Gran Coupe. I personally, if given a choice, would go with the M8 Gran Coupe because it just looks so good. It definitely looks better than the M5, but that's my choice. You have a different, you all have different opinions, so it's up to you. But overall, I do like the M8 Gran Coupe a lot. So I think that's all there is I have to say. One more thing, I obviously didn't get to drive the car. It is one of my dream to experience driving an M car, but unfortunately I haven't gotten that chance yet. This is obviously a customer car. It is already sold off, so you can't drive it, and we don't have a lot of test drive vehicles, especially M test drive vehicles here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, because most of the cars are imports, and and they are mostly customer cars. You don't get a lot of media test vehicles here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So that's why I couldn't give you any driving experiences. So that's all I have to say. And if you enjoyed watching the video, guys, do leave a like and do subscribe to the channel as well, and do turn on your bell notifications so that you will be the first ones to know when I upload new videos. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.